this is your first time, welcome. Today I'm going to be making a quick, easy 5-minute face mask. Of course, we're all in the middle of this pandemic, so everybody needs to wear a face mask wherever you go. Okay, so for this video, of course, you're going to need a face mask pattern. You have two options. You can create your own if you like, or I have a link in my bio that takes you directly to the pattern that I use to make my face mask. Okay, it is 99¢, but you can download it instantly and print it right out, and you can make several masks just like I did. Okay, and just really quick to show you guys, these are the masks that I made. Super cute. I use black elastic, I use cotton for the outside fabric, and I use the heavy duty spandex that I already had from my prom season. Okay, I've made several of these, just showing you what they look like, what they come out like if you use my pattern and follow the directions that I'm going to give you really quick. You can use whatever elastic you want. I am using one, I think it's 1/8, which is really hard to find, but in the stores, I think the biggest that you should get it is no bigger than really smaller than 1/2 inch, but if 1/2 inch is all you can find, then definitely go ahead and get that. Okay, shortly I'm going to go ahead and get started. So you're going to need, of course, your pattern, you're going to need your pins, you're going to need scissors, of course. I would say a seam ripper just in case you mess up. You're also going to need either a sewing machine or a serger for this video. I mean, you can hand stitch too, but I just personally, it would take me too long. So I'd rather go ahead and use my serger and my sewing machine. But you can use either or. So let's go ahead and let's just jump really quick into this video. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the pattern. Pattern, it is available below in the link in the bio. It takes you right there. Buy it, 99¢, print it out, boom, it's yours. Make several masks just like I did. I've made about 50 of these by now. Alright, so I'm just really quick going to cut this out. One moment. And don't worry about it being exactly perfect, because when you sew the two right sides together, your insides won't show at all. So don't beat yourself up if you're not an expert sewer, because you don't need to be for this. This is super simple. As long as you have a sewing machine, a sewing machine or a serger, you'll be just fine. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna put that to the side. So this is your pattern. Okay. You're gonna take this pattern. You need to choose your two fabrics that you're going to use, or one fabric. It depends. If you want your inside and your outside fabric to be different, that's totally up to you. For me, as you can see, I use cotton on the outside, I use heavy duty spandex, but you can use cotton on both sides. You can use the same pattern, different pattern. It's totally up to you. Okay, but you're going to need 4 pieces of these, okay, around the pattern. Okay, so that will be pinning here, pin all the way around. Next step, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut your pattern out. Okay. Okay, so we went ahead and we cut out our first 2 pieces. You're going to slide your pattern off, and you should have these 2 pieces. Okay? 1, 2. Piece A, piece 2. Alright, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to do the same thing for your second fabric. Okay? I went ahead and did mine already. Okay? So I don't know if you can see, this is black. I did the same thing. 2 pieces, put my pattern on top, cut around, set my pattern there. And as you look on the pattern, it says cut 2 pieces on each fabric, total 4 pieces of fabric. Okay, just as a little note so you'll know. All right, so this is 1, 2, and then 3, 4. All right, so next step, what you're going to do is you're going to literally pin around the fabric. Okay, pin these 2 pieces together, just a couple pins. They don't have to be super close. Usually when you cut cotton, it kind of sticks together anyway, but I like to make sure my ends match up. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same for my black. And actually, I already have a couple black pieces together that I've already sewn and serged, so I'll show you. So these are the 2 pieces of fabric. My black, I use my serger, but you can do the same thing with the sewing machine. And you're literally going to stitch from the top I'm sorry, from the top corner here all the way around to the bottom. All right, once you've done that, do the same thing with your second set of fabric. You're just going to cut at the end. Okay, so now we have two pieces, piece one, piece two, connected. All right, so next step that you're going to do, you're going to connect these fabrics. So open them up, right side, open this one up, right side, and you're going to go ahead and connect. So right sides together. Always remember that. Right sides together, right sides together. So what I like to do is when I do my right sides together, the first thing I like to do is match up the points. So my points right here, I'm going to match them up, okay? Right where the seams are. And I'm going to take one of my pins and I'm going to pin it right there, okay? And then I'm going to go over here to my corners and I'm going to match my corners up. Corner, front, corner, corner, okay? And if it's off a little bit, it's okay because you can cut it to clean it up, especially if you're a beginner sewing. And I do have ink on my fingers in case you see all the spots. Just put an ink in a printer this morning so it's all over my fingers. All right, so there's my next corners I'm going to pin. And then the next thing I'm going to do is in my curve. I'm going to pin my curve next, okay? So pinned in my curves. Curve, and then I do the same thing for this side, pin in my curve, and then I put a couple more pins. The more pins the better, especially if you're a beginner sewer. Okay, all right, so it should look like this: pinned, pinned. Started at the point, went around and down, went around and down. Okay, then head back over to your sewing machine or your serger, whichever one you're using, and go ahead and sew right across the top. Let me just show that. Okay, so where I pinned it, I'm going to literally sew right across here, turn at the point, and come back down across there. Okay, so you're sewing straight across the top, literally right here, then down here. Okay. Take your time, make sure you lock stitch. If you're doing it on the sewing machine, on the serger, it'll already be stitched for you, okay? Make sure you're taking your time as you go around the curve, because it is a curve right down your face mask. And it's curved so it can fit on your face perfect. So take your time as you're going around the curve. Okay. That's my one side. Because I'm on a serger, I didn't just go ahead and sew across that part. But if you're on a sewing machine, you can just lift up your pedal and turn it and sew down. Make sure you're pulling out your pins as you're sewing. Do not sew over your pins unless you have an industrial machine, of course. All right, so once you've sewn your two pieces together at the top, it should look like this. Front, back, sewn here, sewn here. So if you see really quick, you can open them and they're now connected, okay? But you're not done yet. So after you've done those two top pieces, you're going to come back. You're going to do the same exact thing for your bottom. So for your bottom, you're going to pin it together. Same way we did our top. Same exact way, pin the bottom pieces. Okay? And if your fabrics aren't exactly adding up, it's okay. Just go ahead, take your time before you do it. And just clean them up. So you can lay it flat just like this. I'm just going to clean mine up just a little bit. Making sure your sides are even. Boop. Making sure they're even. So when you sew, you don't have an issue. My bottoms pretty much are even. It's laying flat. That's even. But I'm going to clean it up just a little bit. You're going to take your pins and you're going to sew across the bottom. just like you did the top. I do my middle and then I do my corners. Across, but do not sew across this middle, okay? You have to leave this open because this will be where you flip it inside out, okay? So you can put a pin right here to mark it so you'll know, do not sew across this pin. I've sewn across the bottom to here, sewn across the bottom to here. The next thing you're going to do is on your sides, you're going to have 2 pieces of your elastic. I got 1/8, which I recommend, but if not, get what you can because it is really hard to get elastic now. But, and I may actually have some available on my website. I think, have some possibly coming in that I can like sell just a couple yards of it. Not a lot, just a couple of it. But I measured about 4.5 inches here, 4.5 inches here. Okay, so what you're going to do with your elastic is, remember, it's still right sides together. You sewn across here, close it, and you've sewn here, stop, then came on the other end and sewn here, stop. So with your 2 open sides, it's looking somewhat like a U. You're pinning it in the inside between both fabrics, okay? Between both fabrics. Corner, it's going to look like a U like this inside, okay? Putting it in the inside, pushing it all the way to the edge. All right. Boom. Making sure it's, oops, sorry, it popped out. My elastic is so skinny, I really have to make sure I pin it down. Trying to pin it in a way that you guys can see. So it's pinned down flat, making sure my pin goes through to hold it in place. Inside, making it flat. Matching it to the other side. Really quick. Boom, pinned it. Take it back to your sewing machine or your serger. It's pinned in the inside. You're going to sew straight down to close it on both sides, okay? Really quick, 5 minutes. I'm sorry, not even 5 minutes. More like 30 seconds. Sew it down. Clip. Clip. Next side. Making sure it's flat in the inside so it's not twisted or anything. Couple seconds. Sew it down. Don't sew over your pins. Don't sew over your pins. You will ruin your machine. Okay, so as you did that and you've sewn on around, I'm flipping it on the right side. I'm going to take your middle finger, push up that point, okay? Come to your corners and also push out that point. Come to your other corner at the bottom. Push it out with your finger. If you want to use a tool or something, that's fine too. I just use my finger, no big deal. Push out this corner too. And then push out your last corner, okay? Now, at this point, you have your front here, and then you have your back, okay? Now, let's get into the last 2 steps, and we're done. So, of course, we left this open right here, so we're going to need to close it out. You're going to just quickly fold in the inside, fold it down. Make sure your seams pretty much match. Fold it down, and like I told you, I always put my pin in the middle first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a pin in. I'm going to pin it all the way across, okay? Just going to be pin here where the seams match. Pin here. As pinned. And you're literally going to sew from here a little bit before the opening and take it all the way down, okay? And then we'll come back and we'll do the last step, which is just basically just folding here to kind of like put a pleat here. Just so it, you see on the other side, pleat it. You're going to take it back to your sewing machine and you're going to stitch right down the side right here, okay? Just a straight stitch. Straight stitch. Both sides just to give you the curve, okay? So I am back and I went ahead and I'm going to try to put it as close as I can. Hopefully you can see. You see it? See my stitch right here? All black. Sorry about the ink on my fingers. Stitched it straight down. See the little pleat? Stitched it here. Straight down pleat, okay? And we're all done. That's it, literally. So here is your face mask.